Alright guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, oh wait, you're all new here because this is my first YouTube video. Well, I did a poll on Twitter and I asked people what they wanted to see as my first YouTube video. Foundation routine, flawless foundation was what won. So I'm here to give you guys the tea on how I create my flawless base. So you guys stay tuned, please subscribe, like, leave any comments, feedback below, and let's get into it. What I like to do, like I said, I like to use the stroke cream. So I personally put a pump of it on my hand. I will always suggest putting product either directly to the face or on the hand. If you're mixing, on the hand definitely works. If you want to be politically correct, put it on a petri dish and mix it there. I'm not doing makeup on a client, so I can put it on my hand. And then I like to do 2 pumps of the darker shade. And then I do 1 pump of the lighter shade. Sometimes a pump and a half. Depends how I'm feeling, or you know, how tan or not tan that I am. And then I like to take a stippling brush. You can use any foundation brush that you like. I like this because it just really places everything really smoothly. This is the 170 from MAC. Also, I am blind as hell, so I like to do all of my makeup in a really small up close mirror. And I'll show you guys how I do that. So I have all of my product here, and then I want to go and just mix it before I actually put it on. So I'm just taking one of my other brushes and I'm just mixing along. And it just gives me this really, really pretty freaking color. And as you can see, like, look how perfect that is. That's literally my skin tone. Like, the lighter shade that I use is just a tad bit too light, and then the darker shade I use by itself is just a little too dark. Maybe for like when I go on vacation and actually get a really tan. But this is it, honey, and you're gonna see. So with a stippling brush, you don't want to swipe. Don't ever swipe. Just pat. Anytime you're swiping, you're moving the product too much. When you're doing this, you're keeping it where you want it and really just smoothing it out. So that's it, honey. So back to how I was saying that like skincare is super important. I guess like the best analogy that I could really use is like, I mean, I'm not a DIY person, but if you are, you know that like if you're gonna paint a piece of wood, then you usually have to like sand it down or whatever. And that's kind of the same or similar with your face. Like, you can't just go into it without treating it. Like, if you have skin concerns, skin issues, you want to get that sorted out if you want a really flawless base. But you see how like, bro, that's bam, bam. Y'all gonna see. And the other thing with makeup too, it looks crazy in the beginning, but you're gonna look alright at the end. I promise you. So just follow along, children. I do have a scar on my face right here, so I tend to put a little bit more product there, a little bit more product in the areas where I am, I might have a little more discoloration, like kind of around my mouth and stuff. I try not to put it like all over my eyes and stuff because I'm gonna put concealer there, and I just don't want to have like an overload of product to where it's not gonna look smooth in those areas, especially like under the eyes where we tend to have a little more you know, fine lines and texture for some of us. You want to make sure all of that looks really smooth. Alright, so the stippling brush is really just to get the product on there. That's what I like to do. If you like to use your hands or whatever, like I said, there's no right or wrong way. Do what you do what makes you happy. I just like a brush. I actually used to do my makeup with my hands when I first started doing makeup. It worked. But then I found, you know, other ways that also worked for me and just worked a little bit better. Alright, so boom. We've got the foundation on there, right? But wait, there's more. So what I like to do after I've placed my foundation, I like to take a damp beauty blender. Always use a damp beauty blender. A damp one, I use the bigger side for the bulk of my face, and I also use the black one because I heard this is the pro one and that it, you know, absorbs less of your makeup. I don't know how true that is, but I like the black one, whatever. And then you're just gonna pat that through. And this is really gonna, you know, melt this into your skin and really just make everything look super, super smooth. But as you guys can see, everything's smoothed out, nothing to worry about there. Usually from here I would go ahead and do my brows, but this is a foundation focused tutorial, so I'm not gonna do that on here. What I'm gonna do next, because I feel like I can't show you the completed foundation without my concealer, is my concealer. My favorite right now is the Pat McGrath. This is like butter. It's a little bit on the pricier side. It's not completely inexpensive, but it's not super expensive either. I use 2 shades. I use MD22 to really conceal, and then I use M20 to highlight, just like really in the inner corners. And I'll show you guys how I do that. And I use my beauty blender to blend all of this out. So with this, a little goes a long way. But I personally really like the center of my face to look really like full coverage. So I do my thing. But if you've seen me before and you know my makeup, you know that I don't look cakey or anything like that. So have no fear if you feel like, damn, she just put hella concealer on. And then I go ahead and I take my beauty blender. And I really start with the edges. Blend, 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 blend. And you start with the edges and work your way in just slightly, because like I said, with the stippling brush, you don't want to move the product. You just want to smooth it out. So your intention is just to keep it where it's at, but have it look, you know, flawless and smooth. And that's it. It's really simple. I do bring it down into this area, just the excess. I don't like to go in with like my actual concealer and place product here. But I will go in with the excess. I like to bring it onto my nose just slightly. So you guys, look at that, like just look at that. All right, so next I'm gonna go in with the M20, which is the shade I use to highlight. That I'm gonna go just really like in the inner corners. So right here. And with this, I'm not gonna blend it out right away. So with this also, it's dried a little bit. I'm being very intentional and I'm only getting the edges. Like I'm literally squeezing my beauty blender tip and literally just going around the perimeter. Because like I said, we want that highlight just right there. Give it that pop. And I do have a little bit of darkness. And instead of like color correcting or anything like that, this just does the trick and you're good to go. You get that blend and your shit is gonna look flawless. All right, and then before you set, this is the biggest thing that I always tell my clients. Before you set under your eyes, always go back in with the beauty blender and tap it out before you place any type of powder on there, because once you set under your eyes and you have excess product and any fine lines, things like that, it's going to set that and it will be visible. Also, when you're setting under the eye, after you've tapped out, try to make sure that you're keeping that that under eye skin very, very stretched out by looking up this way. I know it looks kind of crazy, but I promise it works. All right, so you're gonna see me do that here. For me, I put the translucent on there and then I do take a fluffy brush. This is the 130, the synthetic from MAC. And I like to take my Studio Fix. This is kind of my all over powder that I love to use. It is a powder foundation, so it does give you added coverage. And and I'm using it in the color C7. This is another product that I love to use like as an everyday product without foundation, just to give me a light coverage and go with some concealer. It's amazing, and I can show you guys that too in another video. So if you haven't subscribed, I'm gonna be posting a bunch of videos with all my tips and tricks, soft glam, everyday makeup, whatever it is you guys want to see, like leave it in the comments below. I'm ready for y'all. So like I said, I took a little bit of that powder on here, and I'm just gonna go under my eyes. So this is gonna kind of take away that white cast, but also give me that added coverage, because like I said, I like to have that very full coverage look in the center of my face. That's what gives you that very snatched look. Also with powder, I'm very intentional. I don't put powder all over my face. I don't feel like it's necessary. It ain't. Like, I don't want to be a dry face girl. I want to look luminous, glowy, airy all over, and just snatched in the middle. Because generally that's where like a lot of your makeup starts to wear away, is like on the nose, you know, the cheeks, things like that. So doing it this way, you're gonna stay snatched all day. Now, this is a foundation routine. I know that I look like a baked potato with just foundation on, so I'm just gonna do a light bronze just so you guys see how I do put a little bit of color and dimension back into my face. I do contour from time to time. Usually, you know, that's for special occasions when I'm going out taking pictures. Like I said, that's that real glam, but on a day-to-day, bronzer does the trick. And I'm using Bare Minerals. This is in the shade Warmth. It's actually really pretty. Boom. And this is why a lot of people don't notice that I actually have a huge scar on my face right here, is because it literally falls right along the line of where I put bronzer. It's kind of hard to tell. Get this big old forehead of mine. Yes, I know my forehead is big. Bada boom, bada bing. There's that. Like I said, I usually would have done my brows and my eyes before kind of moving on to this, because after this step I usually like to go in with my highlighters, blush, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to set my face and do the rest of my makeup off camera, and then we can come back and look at it. This is the one, y'all. Fix Plus. This is the one. I love Fix Plus. It's my go-to. Because I use powders and mattifying products, it just gives me that perfect balance. Balance, honey, balance. Alright guys, here's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys love this look. Please like and subscribe. Leave any comments, feedback in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys would like to see more of. I genuinely hope that you guys enjoyed this video and want to follow me and want to see more from me. This is my first YouTube video, so I know there are improvements that could be made, but I hope that you guys had fun and learned something, and I hope I see you guys again.